wanted to take this time to show my wood boiler setup. It's home built. I didn't build the box, but here's what the firebox and the water jacket looked like when I got it. And I ended up stripping it all off. Made a conduit frame and 7 inches of mineral wool insulation all the way around. It's a fire retardant as well. Right there is Al Gore. It sucks all the smoke and dust right out of here and blows it outside into the ozone. It's a pretty nice fan. It's like a turbine fan. And I got it on the switch here, light switch. So I'll flip that on before I open the boiler. Shut the fan off. So here's outside the barn on the boiler. To the left is where the hood exhaust comes out. And to the right is where the vent line goes. Cold air intake. I've taken the lid off. There it is. That's pretty simple. Just got a 120 coil there. Opens it up. It's on a chain. When the heat kicks off, that shuts. Still has just enough air to fuel the fire. Right there, I got to clean out. Do that about once every 2 weeks. Unscrew that. There's a pan that pulls out. It's the ash pan. And I usually just dump it outside. Hope it doesn't catch anything on fire. Here is the water gauge. And I'm running, I always thump it and you can see the levels right there. Got my vent pipe there, opening there, so I unscrew that cap to dump my anti-corrosion chemical in there. I'm gonna try to get a shot here at the back of this thing. Here's my regulator. I got this temperature set right there. It sets your range. It's real, not much to that. Here's my house pump. So here's a bunch of valves. I put a valve on each side of the pump, on both pumps. That way if you have a pump go out, you can shut your valves off, move your pump, and not have to drain down your boiler. Got a house primer right there. I've only used that a couple times, but if you drain your hose system down, the lines, it's a whole lot easier. That's actually just cold water that comes in from the well outside. So what it does is when I open that up, it just pushes water in. You shut this valve, it pushes water in through the house, and then you'll eventually hear it dumping back in right here. That's the return. Ooh, it's hot. Here's a barn primer, same thing. This is an automatic solenoid. It's on a thermostat. So this one runs my barn heat, and I have a recording studio with a heated floor, and that one runs that. I'll get to that here in a little bit. But it pushes water all the way up through that pipe, up to the really sophisticated Caterpillar radiator with a box fan. I got this right here, heat on, heat off. With the heat off, this thermostat does nothing. Neither does the studio thermostat. Heat on. Now if I turn this thermostat up, hey, what do you know? Kicks on my box fan. It also kicks on this solenoid, which opens this valve. And it kicks on this pump running 2 things. It's running my barn and my studio. So I had to put a switching relay right here. That thermostat kicks on for the barn. It switches the power over. So it only turns on the pump, box fan, and this solenoid. And when the thermostat in my studio kicks on, it kicks on the pump, and this solenoid runs my PEX through there. I just put some cheap wrap around it for insulation. Goes right down there. I got coiled PEX all through the bottom of this floor, but then I also took flashing and stapled it to the underside of the PEX and then put insulation underneath it. I just use fiberglass bats for that and laid the floor down. This is to the house. It goes a long way buried with the PEX tubing that I got that runs down through there. But here's the wire, comes in from the house, that comes in from the thermostat, kicks on this relay, kicks the pump on. Got my hot air, or hot water in. Hot air, I'm talking about Al Gore again, which by the way, I'd like to thank for inventing the internet and making this YouTube video possible. I put a delay on make timer in this circuit, and what that actually does is whenever the thermostat kicks on, the relay kicks on the pump, pumps. It takes 1 minute and 24 seconds for the water to reach here. And so right then, the delay on make timer sends a signal to the fan, draws air across here and goes through the house. And the delay on make timer, I put this little box up here. This is a double pole, double throw switch. And basically all it does is it throws that timer in to the mix, and it also disconnects my AC compressor. Now in the summer, kick it on there. We throw the timer out of the circuit, and right there's for winter. Or if you want to run electric heat, that's how you want to run it. You don't want that timer in there. So I heat my water in my house with this as well. The water does not use a water tank. It's on demand. Whenever the hot water gets on, pushed on, turned on, basically the cold water comes in through this valve right here, comes in through there, pushes into here, circulates through 50 feet of copper tubing, which is located inside the water jacket. Comes out right here and goes under the ground and about 40 feet into the house. And this comes in from the boiler, and this goes to the house. So that feeds the house, right? This is a T, so you can either come from this direction or come from this direction. From this direction, if you turn both these on and both these off, cold water comes in from here, or comes in from here. Sorry, comes in, hits the T, comes this way because this one's on, and it goes this way, fills up the hot water heater. Well, the water heater, it's already hot. Fills that up, and then it comes out of here. Follow it down. And if this was on, now this goes to this T, which feeds the house.